Move you back a little bit and move you forward to me. Quite clearly sat on my floor. Today's video, I thought we could just sit down, have a chat, do a little eat with me. I'm not gonna edit, well, that's a lie, I'm going to edit this video, but I'm gonna try and not edit it too much. But I do say a lot of ums, a lot of likes, and a lot of repetitive nature goes on with me when I try and talk about things. So I thought we could do a little eat with me. So I just made some French toast. I was working with minimal supplies, I'm not gonna lie, so I literally just used bread, obviously, banana and milk and sugar. I put my story yesterday that I am gonna film this video, and I thought we could just do like a little Q&A. We could eat, what am I doing? Something too, how fun is that? Right, okay, so a lot of these questions are recovery based, and I will talk about it because I haven't in so long, I don't think, on my channel, and I don't want to completely like lose that. But if you watch my video literally back in January where it's titled like I'm not a recovery YouTuber, I kind of go into that a little bit more detail. Also, do you like how I put this on a book? Actually, I probably didn't need to put that on a book. Yeah, why did I put it on the book? You can literally see it. Okay, anyway, so there's a lot on that. There's a lot on like mental health and also just life. So it's gonna be quite, Let's start off high. And it's, what has been your happiest moment this year? You know, it's funny, I actually saw that question yesterday and I thought, what has been my happiest moment this year? And I actually can think back to one specific moment where it was actually in January lockdown 1, and it was one of my flatmates' birthdays. And we literally had like the best birthday party for her. It was just my 4 flatmates. We did a come dine with me. Then we just spent the entire evening just like dancing to like Grease. And we all got very drunk and just like literally had the best day. I've had a bit of a turbulent time. Well, I think everyone has, to be honest, this whole year. But that was back in January, and I think that was like when there's been probably a lot of happy moments since then, but that for me was like very, very happy. And I think everything in life at that time was like relatively okay. Actually, literally the day after I found, God, I didn't mean to laugh, but literally the day after that, I found out that my grandma had passed away that night, which is, I don't know if that's weird or not, but so the morning after obviously wasn't the best, but then I think everything started not going downhill from there, because we definitely had happy times and sad times in that time, but that night, the best time. How does one cope with a burnout? Also, I find your videos very comforting, thank you. Okay, so I feel this a lot. I feel like I've been in a burnout for the past like 6 months of my life, and I feel like a lot of people are probably feeling the same, additionally with COVID and stuff. When everything started to open up, I think that's when I've been feeling more burnt out with like work and stuff, because I've sort of like been lacking in like creative ideas, and like everything has just felt very like overwhelming and on top of me all the time. Dealing with it has been difficult. Like, I'm not an expert in dealing with it. I think recognizing that you're feeling burnt out is really important and relatively difficult to do, I think, because a lot of the time, like with like productivity culture online, it seemed like not a good thing to be burnt out, obviously, but it is not really addressed. It's like, just go, like work 24/7, wake up 5 a.m, go to bed, blah, blah, blah. But if you can address that you are feeling burnt out and completely stop, that's what matters, and how you're supposed to be able to deal with that. Like, just literally like take a step back. But once again, that's obviously easier said than done, because a lot of the time when I feel burnt out is when I have deadlines and I have things to do. For example, when I was like, if you're revising for GCSEs or A-levels or uni exams or something, that is the type of burnt out that like you have deadlines and stuff, so like you feel like you cannot stop. But from my experience with burnout and like not feeling like I can do my work, if you take even like the smallest section of times, you don't have to take like 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. You can literally just take 1 day off, and then you will come back feeling better. Because if you just keep going, like if you go the whole time, you don't give yourself a break, then your output's actually going to be worse. So you need to give yourself those days to literally completely not do anything, and you will find yourself being more productive. How to cope with feeling lost in life? I feel like I have literally no direction. This is something that if I did touch on, my bag. I did touch on this briefly in one of my last videos, that I feel a little bit like I'm constantly going through this cycle of like feeling like I need to be constantly restarting my life or constantly sorting out my life. But I was thinking about this earlier, because I was thinking about like how some people, this is going into a slightly different territory, but like some people that I know are like engaged, married houses now, or have like know exactly what they want to do with their career. And I know someone here has asked me like what my 5-year plan is. I've got no idea, by the way. But in my head, I'm like, I'm only 24. Like, imagine if I did know, like, it's obviously fine if you do know, but like, I feel like no one ever really knows like what they want to do or what direction they want to go in, or like other things may come into play that they don't even realize that they wanted to do, and they may find themselves down a different route than they ever expected, and you know, things happen. But I feel like if you had everything figured out from like your teens, I think that would be really boring. Like, realistically, if I was on the same direction that I always thought I was going to be on when I was younger, like career-wise, I would not be here. I would not be doing this, that's for sure. I wouldn't have met half the friends I've met because of uni. I probably wouldn't be living in London. If I thought my life was going to be like going in a certain direction, then I wouldn't have the life I had now, which I'm really grateful for. So I think it's okay to feel a bit lost. Long story short, I think it's okay to feel a bit lost. I think it's very normal to feel lost, like, and feel like you don't have a direction. But I think there's something very comforting in also not having a direction. No, it's easier said than done, because I do know how you feel, because you know that thought still just come into my head. But I've just sort of been trying to rationalise with myself recently and be like, if you knew your life plan by now, that's boring. And even if you knew it, as I said earlier, things are going to come in the way and probably interrupt it anyway. So like, nothing is as straightforward as like, this is the direction I'm going and this is what I'm doing. I'd say just sit with those feelings of not having any direction, but also, and you know, think about anything that you could want to do. And like, no one's saying that you 100% need to do this or 100% need to do this. Like, you are the only person that's putting that pressure on yourself. Like, just sit with feeling that feeling, and you know, don't see it as a negative thing, because once you see it as a negative thing, that's when the sort of like, that's when you can spiral down. But if you kind of view it as a positive thing, I find that things will kind of fall into place. Like, just exploring different avenues that you like and want to do, and without putting too much pressure of like, this needs to be my career, this needs to be like what I'm doing forever, and like, this needs to be the person I'm with forever. Like, we all just need to breathe, I think, and like reset and like chill. Wasn't it? That was kind of like, for me, I was like, Helena, you also need to chill. A lot of people ask me about like being happy and stuff. So someone says, are you happy? And someone said, how did you actually become happy? Oh gosh. Okay, so am I happy? I think happiness is like, it's not like something that you feel. I would never just say like, yes, I am happy, because happy to me is like sad, and like, they're like this all the time. I could say, yes, I am content, or like, yes, I feel happiness, or I feel sadness, but I'm not gonna like exclusively say that I am happy, because I think I'm not. Like, if I was to constantly say like, I'm really happy, then when I feel sad, I'm gonna feel like a failure for feeling sad. But in reality, like, it's so natural to have all of the emotions that you don't need to be like happy all the time. And that second question is how do you become happy, or like, what do you do when you're not feeling happy? Like, I just let myself feel it. I came home, big example here, I wasn't supposed to be here. I came home because I was feeling sad and I was feeling hungover, and so I came home and it chirped me up a bit. But the day of, I wasn't feeling happy at all, and now I feel fine. Now I feel happy because I've got my dog there, and just very lucky to be here, and so I am feeling happiness now. But overall, I just let myself feel that sadness. And like, this is a similar, well, it's not similar at all, but from where I lost my dog a few months ago. God, yeah, a few months ago now. Oh my God. I'm still going through that grieving process. So that's why I think my happiest moment was back in January, because even the happiest moments now, I still do have that feeling of sadness every now and again too, which is okay. Don't feel like you need to be happy all the time. Like, happiness is just a part of like an emotional spectrum that you can feel. Like, it would be silly to think that you need to be happy all the time. We view emotions, I think, very weirdly. Like, whenever I share that I'm like feeling sad, obviously it's often met with people trying to be nice, which is lovely, obviously. But for me, I never share myself being sad out of like, as no one does really, out of like pity or like trying to be honest. It's not even that I'm trying to be honest, it's just that this happened and therefore I am sad. Or I cried last night for like 2 hours. That's it. It's just for me, it's just like fact and not fact, but like we see it as like this big thing. So I've just basically been trying to like separate it all and be like, all of this is okay. For the most part, I think it's okay to do that. Like, if I feel like I am sad and I don't want to feel that way, then I will try to distract myself by like listening to different music, because when I'm sad, I just listen to sad music. So that may be a self-sabotage moment, but you know, listen to happy music, bring myself to a place that makes me happy. Like, for example, when I'm really anxious, I like to go on like a walk, try and like clear my head a bit, basically do anything that distracts myself. But yeah, I think there's something important in not distracting yourself all the time from emotions that you don't like. This question I get all the time, literally all the time, and it says, do you ever still have eating disorder thoughts? / are you fully recovered? / is full recovery possible? I feel like people are, I was about to say, I feel like people are constantly following me, but that's not what I mean at all. I just mean like, it's very hard for people to then like catch up on things I said like ages ago, like on my story, because they probably weren't following me then. But yes, I am fully recovered. I don't still have eating disorder thoughts, and full recovery is completely possible. It's been 6 years since I left treatment, 7 years since I went into treatment. So it's been a long time for me, and you know, I don't have those thoughts anymore. And I keep seeing people on social media and online and even in person, like, so I studied nutrition, being like, people never fully recover. And I find that very invalidating personally, because I like completely disagree. Like, and it's very difficult for me to try and fight my corner when so many people are out here telling me that like, oh no, you're wrong. Like, excuse me, like, shut up. Like, not in a sense of if I can do it, you can do it too. It's more of a sense of like, I also didn't believe that I could do it. Like, I also thought that I would live in that sort of way, for the rest of my life, even if I was fully recovered. I thought I would not be. And I think it's because we see recovered as a weight, which is also such an issue, because eating disorders are mental health issues. Weight loss is a symptom of some eating disorders, not even all eating disorders. Like, it's a symptom of some eating disorders, like weight change in general. It's a mental illness at the end of the day, and I think people see recovered as a certain weight, which in itself is an issue, because once you're out of once you are, like, for example, for me, my weight has fluctuated so much over the past year in particular, because the last year for me has been bloody whirlwind. But just because I'm less weight than I was like 4 months ago doesn't mean that I've like relapsed. And if you view eating disorders based solely on someone's weight, then that's how you are going to forever see it. You're always going to see it as someone's relapsing if they're losing weight, or blah, 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 gaining weight, and whatever. I think we need to just, separate that. It's a long ongoing issue with a lot of things, including like actually accessing healthcare, and I think that's a whole topic for another time, and it's just so flawed and it's so stupid. But like, I think people forget that eating disorders are mental health disorders. They're not just physical. If you fear weight gain, then weight gain is an important journey, not an important part of your recovery journey. However, when you reach a certain weight, that doesn't mean you're recovered. Like, recovery for me is all mental. And I'm here to tell you that you can fully recover completely. Someone asked me what full recovery. Okay, so recovery doesn't only just mean like the food aspects for me. It means like being able to go out with my friends, being able to pet my dog, being able to go for walks, being able to sit in the sun and enjoy myself. Because, oh my god, sorry, such an itchy nose today. Because these things I lost enjoyment from purely because of my eating disorder. And even during recovery, like, I wasn't able to just sit and enjoy the sun outside, because in my head I was thinking about the next meal I was having, or I was thinking about how I could avoid things, or how I could hide things, or what I could do. My brain was constantly surrounded by the thoughts of food. That I couldn't sleep, I couldn't do anything. And now I can go on holiday if I want to. Like, I could literally just go away and like enjoy French food, vegan obviously because I am vegan, but like, I've like got my whole life back because of this recovery journey that I've been on. And I think that is what full recovery means to me. It doesn't mean that I've reached a certain weight. It means that I can, live, full stop. It means I can live. I just didn't want my life to be that way. I was like, fuck that. Okay, so what made you enter recovery? So as I kind of just said, I kind of got to a point in my life where I was like, either this is going to take me and I'm going to not live till I'm 18, or I'm going to have to do something about it. That was it. It can be very difficult trying to find that like desire to live when you are feeling that way. Like, I could have easily said, okay, this is it, then I don't want to go any further. But, I found sources of joy in small things. So as I've said before, my dogs were like big for me. My dogs were huge. Like the idea of like leaving my dogs was just my friends, my family, like even not even that, like sunsets, like grass, things like that, like tiny small things of joy. This is why I ask people what they're smiling about every day on Instagram, because I find it really important to like just find small tiny little things to smile about and like use those as the reason to like want to be able to enjoy them, because it's very easy, like especially when like I ask loads of different people, because so some people may look at that and think I don't find joy from that, but I want to. And so it's like, right, how do I do that? Let's try and fight this illness that I've got going on. Mum's just messaged me saying you must put the soy milk back in the fridge. Similarly, what would you tell someone who needs to push in recovery? That everything that I've said, like the life I have because of my recovery is worth the horrendous process that it can feel like. Like you've just kind of got to keep powering through. Like, and then one day you will feel so grateful for your past self. And also, can I say, you don't have to reach a certain point in order to turn your life around. Right, Hest? Like, you don't have... Hello, Hest! Sneaky sneak. Mum's going to get mad if you even go up there. Go on then. Yeah, I reckon. Right, Hest? Yeah, you don't have to like get to a certain point of weight or admissions or things, because I think that's the other thing with social media. I personally find things uncomfortable when I see certain things, like I need people to remember that things like hospitalization, for example, are not common. They're normal. If you're in hospital for things, then obviously that's completely normal and fine and necessary for some people. However, it's not common. I don't want people to think like I'm not sick because I have not reached this way, or I'm not sick because I'm not experiencing this, or I don't feel this, or I'm not in hospital for this, and I'm not doing this. Like, you're never going to be sick enough for yourself. How's your dating situation at the moment? Good. We've gone from like lots of different topics here. I'm almost finished, by the way, because this is long. Me when I'm like, I'm not going to edit this, and it's like, I've literally been sat here for 40 minutes. How's your dating situation at the moment? It is what it is. I've been on some dates, just existing, just vibing, just having a good time. Are you still getting help for your mental health? Currently, no. However, I would very much still like to be in therapy. I probably will reapply for it / try and source some, because I think therapy is really important. I don't think there's anything embarrassing about needing therapy. Like, it would help me. So, yeah. I feel like I didn't answer enough questions, but I'll answer this last one because I'm finished. But it says 22 and never been in a relationship. How to stop feeling like something is wrong with me? So I'm 24 and I've been in 2. If you're single and I'm single, does it really matter if one of us has been in a relationship and one of us hasn't? I often think about this as well, because I'm like, oh, when will I get in a relationship? I don't know. Like, I don't want to like reflect on my life and be like, oh, I wish I was in relationships, because if you're happy by yourself, then you're happy by yourself. Like, I'm not desperado to get into a relationship. Do you know what I mean? So as long as you can feel happy in being by yourself, I don't think it matters if you've had or you haven't had a relationship. Like, I feel like there's like a big thing about like people wanting to be single and like how it's like supposedly a bit weird. So I don't get it personally, because sometimes, like, I don't know, why do we think that every single person wants to be in a relationship? Who decided that? Who made that up? Because I did not agree. Basically, point being, like, if I'm 24 and you're 24, say you're 24, and one of us has been in a relationship, one of us hasn't, we're still both single at 24. Why does it matter what happened then? It doesn't. As long as we're both having fun. We're having a good time now. That's what matters. Anyway, I've been talking for so long. Thank you. I hope you had a good breakfast or dinner. Probably dinner because I've uploaded this at dinner time. So hopefully you had a good dinner. I'm going to actually cut out a little bit because I feel like it's really long. But yeah, no one takes bloody 40 minutes to eat there. Maybe they do. To be fair, maybe they do. Okay. One last chill. Right, okay. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please don't follow, wait, no, please don't follow me. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok because I post way more over there. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks, bye.